Hello, and welcome back to another day of Mr. Allen's Random Videos. Today we do something useful. We're going to give a bicycle a tune-up. You know, it sits all winter, you ride it all summer, and you never do very much to, maintain your bicycle because there's not that many working parts. But today we're going to start it off right and make sure that our bike is ready to go all summer long. So, here we go. Okay, so when we look at the bicycle, pretty simple machine, right? So, there's not much really to worry about. Except for the fact that, well, this chain, the chain is probably the most important thing. The chain gets pretty dirty through the course of the summer. Ooh, gross. So, we gotta clean the chain up a little bit. The spokes, sprockets, gears, things like that gotta be cleaned up a little bit. But other than that, it's not too much. So, we're just gonna do a little bit of work, get this thing ready to rock and roll. She'll be good all summer. So, here we go. Now, for the chain, I take and use something called PB Blaster. It's like a degreaser, right? You want to degrease that chain. So you got to take the kickstand off. You'll see why in a second. You're then going to balance the bike, obviously, and you're going to take a towel. Don't use your mom's best towel ever, because let me tell you, I know from experience that doesn't go well. So, you're going to then take the PB Blaster and you're going to make sure your chain gets really full of that degreaser, and then you're going to pedal the bike backwards like this while pinching the chain. I can't do it very well from this angle while I'm showing you, so I'm probably going to shut you off and get it much cleaner. So you're just going to take and spin it backwards like this while you pinch the chain. I might kink the chain a little bit, but that's not a big deal. You want to do this a couple times and make sure that it gets all the grease off so that your chain can, A, not rust, and B, then it'll shift much better off the gears. So you'll be good to go all summer long. So again, if you just pedal it backwards like this, pinching that chain, making sure it's going to get all nice and cleaned up, shiny, it'll be good to go for the rest of the year. Like I said, you got to do this a couple times. Otherwise, you're only getting it half clean. A half clean chain doesn't do much for you. Now, disclaimer, when you put the PB Blaster, the WD-40 on there, you want to avoid putting any of it, on the rims, like right here, where your brakes go. Because when you're going downhill and you're trying to brake, that's going to cause this effect. I can't stop! You don't want that effect. It's a bad effect. It kills flowers, apparently. Okay, so next, you want to clean your back sprockets. Again, you're shielding that brake pad from any grease because you don't want the I fell down the hill approach. That's a bad idea. So you're shielding that with the towel. Then you're going to spray in that PB Blaster like this. Oh, yeah. And then let it kind of do its own work, actually. You're just going to let it sit. You want to get these bottom little sprockets, too. Make sure that they get all degreased. Now, what you can do is see how much of it's going to drip onto that towel. You got to make sure you might want to change out that towel. So, the next step is to take a Q-tip and then clean those gears off with a Q-tip. But also, what you're going to want to do is clean the main spokes here. Again, you should probably use a towel. Mr. Allen, he's just a big mess, so he's not going to do that. So, like I said, you can take a Q-tip here, and you can get in between the gears and kind of really clean those gears up from the grease, get all that gross grime. You might need quite a few Q-tips, but it's worth it. You get all that gross grime off these spokes, and you're going to be flying on this bicycle. So the next thing you're going to want to do is get yourself an air compressor and test how much air pressure is in your tires. My tires want about 75-ish, 70 to 75. Right now I'm at 55. You got to get yourself one of these handy dandy pressure detecting pens. I don't actually know the name, I just made it up. So I just take this with the air compressor, put the air on there. You know what you should do? You should go to Quick Trip, because they got those fancy air compressors that like do this step for you and you don't need one of these air compressor pens. Oh, you could also get yourself something from the Quickery. Oh, I love the Quickery. Great roller dogs there at the Quick Trip. We got her. We hit it at 70 right there. So now with doing that, we maximize our speed, people. Let me tell you, bicycling is all about speed, as long as you wear a helmet. All right. So our next stop here is the brakes. You want to make sure that the brakes work. So for the front brake, you pick it up, you spin the wheel. Oh, look, nothing's like rubbing, so that's a good sign. And we're gonna stop that. I hit the wrong brake. Oh, hey, we would stop there. That's great. Those brakes are on point. Now let's try the back wheel here. Oh, wow. Let's see. We don't even need to worry about the brakes. What you got to know about the brakes is this. You want them to hit on the rim of the tire, not the tire itself. If you got to adjust them, you loosen these two bolts and you slide those brakes up and down so that they don't hit the tire. You don't want that. Also, you're going to make sure that all of your bolts and nuts are secure on all of the bike pieces, like the tire themselves. So, secure this one. I just did that. I secured this one earlier. Because let me tell you, the possible worst thing that could happen is you rolling down a hill at 24 miles an hour. And could you imagine if one of those bolts give out? You would be a tossed salad. Not good. And that's it for those of you amateur bikers out there. That's the ABCs. Air in the tires, brake, bolts, and then the chain. And we're good to go. So now you can do tricks like me. I'm gonna go pop a wheelie. Yeah, 33-year-old tricks. Oh my God. Well, there you have it. Another day of Mr. Allen's random videos. A useful tip about your bicycle. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday with some more Mr. Allen's random videos. Stay awesome and get out there biking.